In today's video, I'm here to talk about a new product pre-order from MyArcade. I know, I can't believe it either. The other thing that's funny, it's the MyArcade Atari Gamestation Go, and when I originally saw this product at CES, I said this one probably isn't for me, but after seeing a little bit more information on it, could it actually be cool? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Michael B, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the MyArcade Atari Gamestation Go. This little handheld device looks like it's going to be something Atari fans are definitely going to be interested in picking up. I know, MyArcade, right? Anyways, guys, before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel, you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notification, all that YouTube jazz. So today, guys, MyArcade officially introduced the Atari Gamestation Go. This product has been rumored all the way back to CES back in January, and it got a lot of critical reception back at CES, with a lot of people pretty excited about it. When I initially saw the first look at the device, I said, this isn't for me. I mean, why do I want to play Atari either arcade games or 2600 games on a modern handheld, especially when there's so many other handhelds out there? The market is certainly flooded, and there's a million other ways to do this. But looking at the official announcement, seeing all the different features this Atari Gamestation Go has piqued my interest. From everything from the mini trackball, the spinner, the keypad, all the official ways to play these games as we remember, the cool look, cool design. This is something that I'm surprised to say I'm actually really interested in. Now, I think for viewers that have been watching me for a while, you know, MyArcade isn't a company or product I typically follow all that closely because I've always been kind of down on their products. I don't think they look all that arcade accurate. They look like they're cheap plastic and something you would find in the bargain bin on your way out of a department store. However, that tune changed just this past winter. That's right, that's when MyArcade finally made something I could not stay away from and could not avoid, which was, of course, the MyArcade pole position. I forget what this is, racing cab or whatever they call it. Anyways, there was something about this miniature racer that compelled me. I had to try it. Plus, a lot of my friends had also picked it up and said that it was actually pretty spectacular to check out and play. So I thought that was pretty rad and decided to give it a go for myself. And I was very pleasantly surprised about the quality of the device. And like my buddy Glenn says, it's made with good quality plastic. And despite the fact it does take batteries and it doesn't look like the real arcade, I still had a bunch of fun with it, and I was only out about $50. So it was officially announced today with the pre-order going live in multiple places, one of which being Atari.com itself. Now, for those of you in the US, this is great. You can order directly from Atari, but for those of us here in Canada, as you're probably aware from trying to order previous products, we're shit out of luck. Anyways, here is the Atari Gamestation Go coming in at a purchase price of $180. This is one of the things I don't super love. I mean, that's a pretty big price point, even though this thing does have a 7-inch screen, does have multiple controls. You know, I would like to get my hands on them to see how they feel before I can really comment, because that's one of the most important things with a handheld. How does the D-pad feel? How does the, you know, spinner, trackball feel? How do the buttons feel? Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that where I didn't go to CES last year, so I can't comment on that. But they do offer this kind of light up ring technology. So around the buttons and around the control panel, spinner, and I think the trackball too, there's this cool light up glow effect that goes around, very similar to what they have on the ROG Ally. So that's something that's decent. Apparently it fits pretty comfortable in your hand. I think I mentioned it has a 7-inch LED screen or LCD screen. I don't remember which one. We'll get down to that in a second, but overall, it looks pretty rad and looks like it offers everything you need to play either classic 2600, 7800, whatever games, Atari games, or to actually play some of the arcade games, including the trackball and the spinner, which makes me very happy that you can do this on the go. So going down, talking about the overview and the features. So here we go. We've got 200 video games built in, including 5 games from the Atari Recharged series. Now that is major. We'll talk about that in just a minute. It's also going to have balls of steel pinballs, so you can play pinball on this device, which I do want to go back up and talk about just for a second. I originally questioned why it had left and right buttons on the top. I can't imagine any of the Atari games included would actually use these. However, with the pinball, those seem like excellent flipper buttons on the top, and maybe you can add additional games to it eventually. Who knows? It's also got integrated paddle, trackball, and keypad, which we talked about, built-in Wi-Fi for easy updates, smart glow technology, makes gameplay intuitive by illuminating the controls necessary for each game, powered by built-in rechargeable batteries, so no bringing AA batteries to the table when you're talking about the Atari Gamestation Go. Now, if you guys are looking for a more detailed breakdown of the device itself, including company-specific instruction manual photos, go check out my buddy 19K Fox. I'll leave a link in the description below for his video. He's part of the MyArcade influencer program. They sent him, specific images, including the instruction manual images, so you can get a full overview of all the buttons, all the key features of the device. Now, me personally, I think one of the major wins for this device, because you always question when you're buying a handheld device, especially when it's classic, either Atari 2600 games or it's arcade games that are included. Do I really need this? There's a million other ways to play this on other devices. But one of the cool things they did here was include games from the Atari Recharged series. I think a lot of us in the home arcade community and the retro gaming community together have been enthralled with the Atari Recharged games. They've been pretty fantastic. We've had a chance to revisit some of these great classics done in modern graphics, or modernized, however you want to call it, with that big widescreen display that we're so used to playing on nowadays. So the Atari Recharged series being included is an absolute win for Atari with the Gamestation Go. Now, for those of us here in Canada that are interested in picking up this device, good news, it is available to pre-order right now through EB Games, and we also get some Canadian-friendly pricing on this. As you saw, the purchase price on the Atari website itself with the exchange rate is over $250, but here in Canada, if you pre-order from GameStop directly, it's only going to be $224.99, $225. Still a steep price to pay for this, but if you're an Atari fan, this looks cool. I love, the way that the color scheme, everything works on the device. I like the idea of it, but again, you are looking at over $200 for a handheld in a pretty competitive market. Now, they are saying you can expect to receive your pre-order on the 7th of November 2025, so a little bit later when they're projecting it in the US. In the US, they're saying in the second, third week of October. We're going to have to wait a little bit later than that, but keep in mind, we are getting a slight discount on the price, so you can order it directly from EB Games. They've included some of the same media we've seen there. It comes with a kickstand. Let me go over. So there's the Gamestation Go itself, of course, showing one of Missile Command Recharge right there on the device. There's a better look at the side image. There's a look at the kickstand, and there's a look at the guy playing it in his hands. In the actual video itself, which I'll go back to in a second, it's really funny because they talk about how portable this thing is, but it's actually a pretty sizable device. So, of course, including a 7-inch screen, all these controls mean this is going to be a pretty honking large device. They go through some of the games included, including the Atari Recharged series, and the fact that you're going to have Pac-Man on it. Like we talked about earlier, it's going to have balls of steel pinball. Not exactly the greatest pinball experience, but pretty cool. You can still play pinball on this device. This is what I wanted to talk about. Look how they talk about it's portable. You just have to put it in your purse. So anyways, guys, that's my look at the launch and pre-order of the Atari Gamestation Go from MyArcade. Believe me, this is not a video I expected to make. This is not a product I expected to be excited about, but seeing this intro video, hearing a couple other friends talk about it, looking at the possibilities with all the control schemes available, this seems like it's actually a pretty rad product, especially if you're a big Atari fan. This is something that might be a must-have. Of course, my only downside on this has to be the purchase price, but when you compare it to other handheld devices, kind of like the Hyper Megatech, Super Pockets, other things like that, this offers so much bang for your buck, having 200 games, all the control schemes, the Atari Recharged series, Balls of Steel, which I don't know if is a huge upgrade. I don't know, you can decide for yourself, is it worth it, or would you rather just play these games through other means? Like if you already have like one of these, Steam Decks or a tablet or something like that that you already play on, this might not be for you. But like I said, major Atari fans, this looks like it could be a very cool product. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the MyArcade Atari Gamestation Go? Is this something you're interested in? Do you think it looks as cool as I do? And are you planning on pre-ordering? And if so, are you in Canada or the US? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.